Hello everyone, in today's video lecture we are going to see the practical implementation of k-means clustering algorithm using Python programming language, Jupyter Editor Notebook along with using the scikit-learn library. So we have already discussed in our earlier lecture what is k-means clustering is all about, but as you can see here, when there are the clusters which are formed of the different colors, you can see there are total 5 clusters which are there. So how these clusters are getting nominate, how these clusters are getting formed, that we are going to see. So for example, if the new data point is going to come, and if that new data point has to be decided into which particular cluster it has to be assigned, then the distance between Euclidean distance between that data point and the cluster centroid has to be calculated, and iteratively it has to be calculated, and the distance between that data point and to which particular cluster centroid it is minimum, to that particular cluster that data point is getting added. So likewise we need to keep on doing this process iteratively, and the centroid of the particular cluster to which the data points are getting added, which will be calculated repeatedly, right? So centroids are going to get updated every time the new data points are going to get added. So this is iterative process, and when what should be the terminating criteria? We should stop when there are no more data points are left, no more clusters can be formed. So let's start with the implementation part. So here first we will start with the importing libraries. Now there are necessary libraries which needs to be imported, like matplotlib for .pyplot for the visualization purpose, for graphing graph analysis purpose. Then pandas are very much needed for this Python programming, Jupyter Python programming language. As we have already discussed in our earlier lecture, pandas forms the basis for the analysis purpose, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to just read the comma separated value file, that is mol customers.csv. So let's run this. We will just see what are the contents of this particular data frame. So what are the contents of this data frame? There are you can see there are various input parameters, where are various parameters or various you can see the columns here: customer id, gender, age, annual income, spending score. So what this data is telling us about? So this is mall customers data, right? Mall, any of the shopping mall wants to analyze its data. What kind of data it is? See here, the annual income is something in k dollar, and then the spending score is there. Now this spending score is within the range 1 to 100. 1 to 100, more is the spending, more will be the spending score. So this spending score is getting calculated by whom? It is by mall. Why they need this kind of this data to be analyzed? So why do they need this? Just for to increase their profitability. So they can analyze on the basis of age or annual income or gender, whose spending score is more. So they just want to analyze this data, so they are just storing this data. So accordingly, whenever new data points are going to get added, whenever new records are going to get formed, they can score, they can just predict how what will be the customers spending behavior will be, how what is their purchasing patterns. So they just want this everything to be analyzed from their profit making purpose. So we will just understand this data, view the data set, we will just play around with the data, we'll just see the what are the different columns. So you can see there are this customer id, gender, age, annual income, spending score, and data type is object. So data type is object in Python. Every data type is going to be object initially. So here data type is object. Now here x is nothing but the input parameter, right? Input parameters. So input parameter consists of the data frame. What are this? The combination of different columns, right? So here what are the input parameters that we are going to consider? We are just going to consider irrespective of the gender, and of course they are also going to matter, but here we are going to just consider annual income and spending score as the input parameter, right? So we'll just visualize this. We'll just see what is this X data frame consist of. Okay, so this is going to consist of, you can see here 200 rows are there, 0 to 199, and 2 columns. So just it is X is the data frame which is consisting of just 2 columns. Since it is passed as a list, so it is embedded into a list, right? So this is a list of annual income comma spending score. Now we will just import k-means. We'll just import k-means from sklearn libraries, which are already inbuilt libraries, which Python has got a solid, or what you can say, very good functionality of the Python. So we will just import the k-means clustering algorithm related whatever package we are just going to import from sklearn.cluster. Now now there is one more crucial point, or crucial what you can say, how to determine the optimal number of clusters k. See, suppose if I'm just switching from this code to our results part. See, here you can see there are 5 clusters, right? But what if if user is going to input that there are just going to 2 number of clusters, so the results, my results would have been inaccurate, right? Inaccurate means there is no guarantee of accuracy. If that is a limitation of k-means clustering algorithm, if I myself or the user is going to input the number of clusters. So let the algorithm determines how many number of clusters are possible in this particular data set, right? So here, if instead of 5 we would have reduced the number of clusters, let's say blue and red into one cluster, and this remaining is in one cluster, so my results would not have been accurate. So in order to overcome this kind of limitation, in order to overcome all this kind of what you can say drawback, there is one method called as, or one mechanism called as elbow point. So what is this elbow point is about? Okay, so what we are going to do here, how to come to know about optimal number of clusters. So for that there is this particular routine. So what is this WCSS? It is nothing but within cluster sum of squares. Within cluster sum of squares, remember before the start of the lecture we have seen what is Euclidean distance. Euclidean distance is nothing but the distance between the data points and the centroid of the cluster. We are just taking the sum of squares of those distances. Why sum of squares of those distances? Because there can be negative values also. Negative values have to be nullified, right? The distance can be between distance p comma q or distance q comma p. Now distance p comma q is nothing but 5 minus 4, or q comma p can be 4 minus 5. So that is minus 1 the whole square, so it becomes 1, right? So in order to nullify that effect of the negative distances, we are just going to consider sum of squares of these Euclidean distances. Now for I in the range from 1 to 14, number of clusters are equal to I. We are just going to fit the data. Fit means what? Training. We are just going to train that data, and we are just going to append it to our model underscore k-means. So now we are just going to plot this. Now what this plotting is all about, why do we need this plotting? See here, now this is nothing but the elbow point method, right? Now what is elbow point? Just imagine the elbow of our hand, how it is. Elbow of our hand, it can resemble the elbow of our hand. So here you can see what should be the total number of clusters here. See here you can see this is, we have plotted against within cluster sum of squares and optimal number of clusters. So here you can see that this point has to be 5. Why it has to be 5? See, this is the turning point. Turning in the sense what? After this, the within cluster sum of squares values, those error ratio errors are diminishing, right? So there has to be, this is the elbow point, where the number of clusters which are to be formed is equal to 5. So here we can determine that the number of clusters should be 5. After this, what we can do is, we can just pass this number of clusters which we have determined to our k-means package, right? Our k-means as a parameter, right? So we have imported this k-means. Okay, we will just pass the number of clusters as a input, as a parameter for this. So this is assigned to model underscore km. Then we will just fit this data. So it is what it is telling about us about all the k-means algorithms parameters, right? So So it is okay, so it is saying sklearn dot cluster dot k-means underscore k-means. Okay, so that's fine, that's fine. There are so many you can see the parameters: algorithm, auto, copy, x is underscore true, init, k means plus, maximum iterations which are allowed is 300, number of clusters it has taken, it has 5, n init has 10, number of jobs none, pre-compute distance auto we are just calculating the pre-computing distance, that is Euclidean distance, and random state is equal to none. Okay, random state, we are not going to assign here random state, we are not going to specify the size of the cluster, right? Cluster can be of any of the size. Tolerance level is 0.0001, verbose is equal to 0. So now let's try to visualize this data. Let's try to visualize the data. We are just going to plot this data with the help of title. Plot title is visualize data, x label is nothing but the spending score, this is nothing but the spending score. Remember, more is the spending score, and then the annual income. So we have just plotted this data without forming any kind of clusters, without assigning any kind of cluster, just trying to visualize, just trying to understand how this data is this. We just keep on plotting and playing around with the data, and just after this we will just fit and try to predict the data. So here this fit is nothing for training, predict this. So predict is assigned to cn, cluster number. Now we just going to print cluster numbers, right? Let's see. Name cn is not defined. Okay, so what it is, we are just going to print this cluster number. So what this indicates, see here, 3 4 3 4 3 4 0 1 2. What these means? This means that it is nothing but the clusters to which data point are assigned. So here 3 indicates it is assigned to third cluster, 4 means fourth cluster, it is ranging from 0 to 4, right? So that means total number of 5 clusters. So we are just printing that data. Then we are just going to plot this data with the help of plot.scatter. We are not plotting any kind of line here, so scatter, it is going to be scatter. Then what we are going to plot with respect to cluster number 0, with respect to cluster number 0 or 1 or 2 or so red, we are just going to assign the color. So color is equal to red, green, blue, yellow, and C. So what is this? If it is red, okay, if it is red, for this cluster number is assigned as 0, annual income, spending score. So with respect to the annual income, with respect to the spending score, just cluster that. Okay, with respect to annual income and spending score, we are assigned the cluster number to it, right? So it is very you can say what it's a very good algorithm where you can just assign the cluster number to the data points which we have plotted, and try to visualize the data initially. Then from this we can get the idea of somewhat that how the clusters can be formed. So here how the clusters are formed, that actually in picture we can see by assigning the cluster numbers to those clusters on the basis of their data plots, right? So we will just assign the cluster number to it, and with respect to the cluster numbers we have plotted with the annual income and spending score, and we have just plotted these clusters and visualized the data. Okay, thank you, and I hope I hope you have understood the things which we have covered in this particular lecture. Please like, share and subscribe. Thanks.